I want to quickly walk you through my camera configuration to give you an idea of my ideal scenario when operating. It's not the most complex rig, but it is something that works great for the different shooting scenarios that I come across. Here is the built-up rig. What I like about this configuration is it gets the camera from being up here over my shoulder to up here in front of me now, which for me, this is my preferred way of filming. I feel I'm much more nimble, and it just works better for my style of operating. In situations where I'll be operating for longer periods of time, what I have here on the top, you'll notice, is there's an eye hook, which I use to attach to an easy rig, which allows me to keep this camera, kind of the weight off of me while operating. The only thing that changes in this configuration, I take this monitor, instead of it being up top, I move it to the side handle here, just so that when I'm operating, the arm of the easy rig and the cable isn't in front of the monitor. What I want to do next here now is just walk you through each of the different pieces that are part of this kit. You'll notice that most of these accessories are from SmallRig. Obviously, there's a bunch of different manufacturers that are making different types of accessories, but for me, I found this, based on price point and how I'm able to customize it to my needs, was the best scenario for me. The base of the kit I use are V-mounts. So all of this here I power off of V-mounts, and it just allows me to operate for longer periods during the day. Here is the mount itself, and I use a cold shoe V-mount, which I attach to the bottom of the camera cage here, which is from SmallRig. I use the SmallRig side handle, SmallRig follow focus, and then a few NATO rails as well. This NATO rail I use on the side for the follow focus and the left side handle. This one I use for the top handle. This here is a rosette offset, which I'll show you why I have to use the offset for this rig. Here is a Tilta rosette quick change for changing the position of my Nikon side handle. Mounting bracket for my monitor, the top handle, NPF dummy battery to DTAP, the Nikon side handle, monitor, cabling, matte box, which is also SmallRig, and then the Nikon Z8 as the base of the kit with the SmallRig cage. Now, I've got two setups here. SmallRig has the original Nikon Z8 cage, and then this here, I believe, is the Nighthawk. I liked the way in which it looked, but I'll actually be purchasing a second of the original because of where I mount my microphone. You'll notice is on the side, cold shoe mount on the side here, whereas with the Nighthawk, it doesn't have the cold shoe here, so I'm not able to get the microphone in this position, and that's something that I want for this configuration. So I'm going to go ahead and just start putting this whole kit together. As mentioned, I use the SmallRig cage, which I build my rig off of. I'm going to take first the base plate and then V-mount and attach it to the Arcoswix plate on the bottom here, and then lock it off. Second thing I will mount is the NATO rail on the top for the top handle. And what's nice about this top handle here, it has the Allen key built in, so you just always have it with you. Once this NATO rail is attached, I'll then take my top handle and slide it on. There's a few additional pieces I have on my top handle which keeps this kit nice and clean. You'll notice this eye hook, which is for mounting my easy rig, and then these side cable clamps, which keeps the cables nice and clean running from the monitor down to the kit, so I can still easily grab this here. The next thing I'll do is attach the rosette offset here, and I will show you in a second why you have to use the offset here. When you look at the side card door, it opens up straight here. So if your rosette was center punched on your cage rail here, you wouldn't be able to open the door all the way. If you use this offset, it solves that problem for you. The next piece, which I attached to here, is a Tilta quick release or quick change for if you want to change the positioning of your side handle. And then I'll screw on the Nikon grip onto the side. I use this grip because with the monitor being covered in the back here, I want the ability to quickly change focus points, record all those basic functions that would normally be somewhat blocked by having the battery here. This solves that problem. Once I have the side handle mounted, I'll then do the other side. And I use this NATO rail with rod adapter on here. And the reason I like to have this kind of the 2-piece-in-1, I'm able to mount 2 pieces to this one piece of equipment. The top or the side handle will go on the NATO rail, and then the follow focus slides into here, just like that. And then we will take this side handle onto the NATO rail, and it's attached. Now you'll see here, both sides are, I can quickly adjust the positioning. So if you're wanting to operate where it's straight, you can do this. If you want to change a bit tilted, you can do that, and then you can do your operation like that. Or if you want to go the other way, you're in low mode, then you can do that as well. After this, then just the monitor mounts, just slide on here, and it's a cold shoe base, and then screw threads on the top. And then what I also use with this, you've got these holes here, which allow you to really tighten this down so you don't ever have to worry about it loosening on yourself. And then the monitor goes on top. And as mentioned earlier, when I'm operating handheld mode, I'll put the monitor in this position. When I'm using the Easy Rig, I just pivot it right to here. Perfect. And then once I have that done, the next thing I do is the matte box. And I went with the Small Rig Star Trails. The base kit only comes one stage, but when I'm operating, I like to have at least 2 stages. I do one for ND and then one for any modification, whether it's a Pro Mist, Black Mist, some sort of filter like that. I'm able to do with this. I like this solution. It was nice and cheap. The build quality is by no means like your higher end ones, but it still does a job for this scenario. What I have with all of my lenses as well, I have step-up rings on the front of every single lens, so they're all the exact same size. So when I quickly switch between different lenses, I can just pull off the matte box and they'll all fit onto whatever lens I choose to use with each setup, which makes switching out lenses much easier and quicker. The last few things here are just attaching all the cables. So I have the NPF dummy battery here, which I just slide into the monitor. And then HDMI. And then I'll take these cables together and run them through my cable ties. So it keeps everything somewhat clean. Obviously, cabling is fun, but as long as it's fairly clean, you'll do pretty good with this setup. There's that. And then I'll take the V-mount onto the back. The newer V-mounts, what's nice is some will have the USB-C power drive, so you can attach your different accessories directly to this. In scenarios though where they don't have USB-C, you can just do D-tap to USB-C and do a D-tap splitter, and then you can still power all your accessories through that. I then will take this USB-C cable to attach the side handle the Nikon grip to the body, and this just allows communications between the two devices. Kind of once you're rigged up for the day, it's like a set it, forget it type thing. The only thing you're going to be changing out for the most part are your V-mount batteries and carts, and then obviously any lenses or filters. When it comes to monitoring and different monitor options, for me, the main thing is just getting a high bright monitor, something you can see in daylight. I'm not too fussy on what monitor I'm using, but as long as it's bright enough to see when operating in full sun. And then that's pretty much it for the configuration. So it's pretty streamlined when operating. The other thing I want to show is the how I manage sound, and that's a big one in different shooting scenarios. Is how do you get reasonable audio when you don't have a sound mixer on location? And I feel like I've kind of found that sweet spot where I've got redundancy in a few different ways to make sure that I capture decent audio. On this rig here, it shows kind of the scenario I run with. You'll notice I have a Rode shotgun on the side here, which I mount to the cold shoe. I then take this and run it into, which I don't have here, I think I do down here. I run it into the Rode Wireless Pro here. So I'm recording my shotgun into one of the Rode Wireless Pro transmitters, which then pushes into the Rode Wireless Pro receiver, which also records. And then for the second transmitter, I'll run, usually if I'm filming a subject, I'll lapel them just kind of like myself. I've got myself lapelled up here, and that runs then into the receiver. The receiver is then recording both a shotgun mic as well as lapel. And then this receiver I patch into the camera, which is also recording the shotgun and lapel into the camera. So I've kind of got two sources of audio I'm recording and two ways in which I'm capturing the audio, so the shotgun and lapel. To this point, it's been really nice being able to have a little bit of redundancy. It's not by no means as good as having a sound mixer on location, but it solves the problem for me in situations where I don't have a sound mixer. Now that's pretty much everything that goes into my basic camera rig. If you have any questions or concerns, do not hesitate to reach out. Look forward to hearing from you. Thanks.